All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, dogs and cats, wherever you're watching this, thanks for tuning in. This is another episode of In the Black TV, where we teach you how to create a profitable online business, in some cases offline, because when your business is profitable, you have more of what? Financial abundance. And what that allows you to then do is, find out your authentic self and then create other abundance in other areas of your lives. Tonight, I have an awesome person on who I view as I don't want to say renegade, a nonstop, up literally all hours of the night, going hard, raising a family, going hard the business, back to family, up all night again. Like I said, true badass Laura Parrish, who I've known for a couple of years. We met in one company which was Power Network. I did see you speak on stage 2013, so it's been close to 3 years. And you're like, man, ain't nobody got time for that. You're on the board doing the thing with the ice cream, and then you talk about the kids and crying. And I'm like, oh, I have kids, so I can't cry, but whatever. And I've always seen you you've been known for, as far as what I've seen, is it's like you don't play, you don't fuck around. It's like, yo, business, let's do it, but in a very fun way, unlike Tracy Walker, which is different, but still, regardless. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Laura Parrish. Give her some love. Yeah, there we go. Oh, and what I was talking about earlier was this. I don't know if you can hear
it. I see all the hand, like in the bottom right corner. What's the
hand? It just means that they're feeling you. Claps, love, whatever. It's like liked.
Oh, it won't let me click on hands for you. Click to give props. Oh, it won't let me do it.
And props. Yeah, you're giving me props right now.
Okay, I see on the right side here, Cheryl Paul joined. It's her first day on Blab. Welcome in, Miss Cheryl Paul. Welcome. This is my first day on Blab, too. I don't see anything over there that says first day on Blab, but this is my first day. So.
Oh, yeah. Cool. So, Laura, I know some of your story, bits and pieces. But I know there's a lot more to it, and you're very upfront and real, which is why I like you. You're like, yo, fuck that, I did this, and I'm like, oh shit, all right, cool then. I guess it's all good. But it's good. So let's start with your story before we get to more, more about marketing and what you've learned from life and what people can just learn from you to help get them to where it is that they want to be.
Okay. So you want me to start from before I started internet marketing?
Yeah, before you started, and then, once you got in, all that stuff. So
my why, right? My why. Because I'm sure everybody out there watching right now who's interested in internet marketing or possibly getting into working from home, owning your own business online is like they want to. They want to be home with their families, or they want to travel the world, or, whatever they want to do. But we all have a reason why. And for me, I'm a mom, right? So my story goes like this. I used to be a restaurant manager. I worked 60, 65 hours a week, but I was passionate about it. I loved it. And my husband was also a restaurant manager. He still is, actually. And, we had the life, no kids. We did what we wanted. We each made 60 grand a year. So we were banking 120K, no kids, living large. And I was a big drinker, right? Which turned into alcoholism in the long run. I would say unfortunately, but everything happens for a reason, and had that not happened, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. So I'm grateful for that in my life. So we were living large, and then we decided to have kids. And I'm just the type of person, I don't want a stranger raising my kid. I don't want daycare raising my kid. So we decided that I would home, and he would continue to work, which was great. But, our income literally was cut in half. And you say, well, 60 grand is a lot of money. And it is, but not when you got kids. And if you don't have kids, you don't know that yet, but you will, okay? Because you want to give them everything that they want. You want to give them everything that they need, and so on and so forth. So we, we struggled for a long time. We didn't go out on dates, have date nights, anything, because it was expensive to get babysitters. Then you pay for dinner, and then by the time you pay for a movie, it's like you broke the bank. And so we weren't having dates. We've been married for over 10 years, and so that's never a good thing. And we weren't happy. We were still renting. We never had, new cars or anything like that. And I really wanted to help with the finances. I really wanted that piece of me back. And that's so important, because the funny thing is, until you have kids, you don't know this, but who you are as an individual without kids is completely different than who you are with kids. Because when you have kids, what happens? They come first, always. And so you lose that piece of yourself you know, where you got to do what you wanted and be the person you wanted, because you have these little beings running around everywhere, right? And all of a sudden you got to take care of another human being. And I miss that too. I wanted that back. I'm obviously a very outgoing person, A-type personality. Get what I want. When I say I'm going to do something, I'll fucking do it, as Maddie D has already informed me of. And you know, I miss that part of me, and I wanted to give to my kids, and I wanted to help with the finances and live the way we wanted to live again. So I decided to start looking for work online, and I came across this thing, like Matt said, called Empower Network, and you know, it was an amazing tool for me for a very long time. And that's exactly what it was. And here's the thing, guys. I would say it doesn't matter what company you're in, because it really doesn't in the long run, with the meaning behind that you should be wherever your passion is, right? Wherever allows you to share what it is that you love, that what you're passionate about. And Empower Network was that for me for a very, very long time. And I've moved past that now, and I'm with MLSP. Maddie D's with MLSP. And that company has a platform that allows me to have the 3 core things that I need to share my passions, right? To help other people achieve the same thing that I've achieved. And that is a great culture inside of an amazing community with a compensation plan that is unparalleled. So that's where I'm at right now. But yeah, so I decided to start working online from home to, you know, to change our lives. And I just made a decision that I was going to do it. I was doing it for about 6 months. Really wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to Empower Network, because it was on the back end of, you know, like a trial offer thing that I had worked on called Z&Z and Instant Rewards. And I decided to go to my first event in San Diego in 2012. And I heard this guy on stage, and he was just like, his story matched my story. You know, he spoke hope and inspiration into my heart. And I went up to him when he came off stage that night, and I said, "My name is Laura Parrish. I've been sober for 18 months, and I'm going to be your next leader at the next event. I'm going to be on your stage, you know, and I'm going to have a big ass banner like Tracy Walker." And obviously, you heard what I said. I said then I've been sober for 18 months, and that obviously means I'm an alcoholic. I'm a recovering alcoholic, and actually, I'm 1 month and just a few days away from my 5-year anniversary. So I'm super excited about that, right? I can't believe it. You know, time just flies. It's kind of nerve-wracking too, because it's like, wow, has it really been that long? So we were struggling a lot, because, you know, we were dealing with you know, going out, having fun, partying, drinking, that turned into something more serious that was really affecting my family, not just me, my family, because when you have that problem, it affects everyone. And missing time with my kids, you know, drinking, driving, living wrong, being in jail from drinking and driving, things like that. And I just I had enough. So I made the decision, you know, that I was going to do what I said that I was going to do. And then the next day, that gentleman came off stage and was like, "Hey, stand up and tell the whole crowd what you told me yesterday." And I was like, "Oh shit, like, he's going to make me accountable." So I did. I stood up and I said what I said to him. And so then I was accountable in front of 3,000 people. And when you do that, it kind of like takes it to a new level. I came home, and, you know, I have zero internet marketing experience, like never. The only thing I knew how to do was Facebook. And I got to tell you, a lot of people ask me, well, if you had no marketing experience and you've had all this success now, back then, what made you think that you would be successful, knowing that you had no experience, right? You wonder that? And the only thing that made me think that is the fact that I knew Facebook, not like marketing or anything, but I knew it because that was my adult interaction. You know, when you have kids and you stay at home, like, the only adult interaction you have is the internet. So I used Facebook. I was one of those annoying people that, like, every 10 minutes would get on a post, "Just finished a load of laundry, just finished into the dishwasher, hey, I'm about to go to bed." And everybody's like, who the hell cares about that, right? But people would comment on it. And, you know, the thing is, you laugh, but there are other people out there just like me using it for the same purpose, because they also are at home, you know, maybe not being a parent to children, maybe they're taking care of their parent, right? Or maybe they're helping someone, you know, who can't take care of themselves. So the internet is an amazing place because it allows you to interact with people and get what you need when you can't leave your house, really, right? So I was like, man, if I can just talk to people like I'm already doing, you know, and I love what I do, you know, and I'm happy that I can actually deal with my kids and make money and just talk about it with people, then it's no different than what I'm already doing. I'm already on there 24/7 anyway, so why not still be on there except talk about something that helps people make money? So that's why I believe that I could do it, because I wasn't trying to sell anything. I wasn't trying to pitch anything. I wasn't some scam artist. I mean, just a normal human being like you, like everybody else. And just talking about what I wanted to do, you know, and I'm like, hey, I joined this thing and it's going to change my life. You coming with? Doesn't matter. You can come with or you can sit, but I'm going to the top, right? And so that's how I really got started in it. And then, so I went home after that event and I had to make it happen. And again, I came home and I was like, how am I going to make this happen? Because I have no idea what I'm doing, right? But what I did know is how to talk to people on Facebook. So I made a decision that I would eat, sleep, pee, shit, whatever, the internet until I reach my goal, right? And it's funny because you see the TNS sign, right? Hashtag TNS. It stands for Team No Sleep. And it's not that people on my team can't sleep, but literally I don't ever sleep. And the premise behind it is that success never sleeps. You know, I was in an interview last week and they asked me, you know, what's your DMO, your daily methods of operation, right? And I'm like, my DMO, I used to do lists. I don't do that anymore because that just sets yourself up for failure because you just carry over the shit you procrastinate on to the next day, to the next day, to the next day. My DMO is I know what I need to get done daily and I just won't allow myself to go to sleep until I do it. So it's like, if you want to go to bed early, you better get your shit done, right? And that's pretty much it. So I did. I would work if my goal was I've got to get 2 signups today, or I've got to sell 3 tickets today, or I've got to do this today, or I've got to do that today. Whatever my goal was for each day, I sat and I talked to people and I worked and talked to people and I worked and posted my links and reached out to people and I talked to people. And then when I got my 2, I'd go to bed, right? And then I would get it up and do it the next day and do it again because I wouldn't accept failure, not accepting failure. I wouldn't accept a plan B. I wouldn't accept being that person, you know, that I know everybody's seen that person before, that person where they like get recognized and then like 3 months later at the next event, everybody's like, what happened to that person who said they were going to do all that, right? No. That wasn't going to be me. I do what I say I'm going to do. So I did. I worked, you know, I made top 35. I made it on stage. I won an iPad for selling event tickets. And that was just like the real big kickoff of it. And then within 3 months, I was making over $30,000 a month. My best month so far is $33,700. I spoke on stage in Chicago, first time ever, 6,000 people. Matt, that's probably, that might have been where you saw me speak. That was Chicago. Okay.
It was DC.
Okay, that was October of 2013 in DC. That was the ice cream, right? And I haven't shared that yet inside MLS. That's gonna be like my secret weapon. When I get on stage, hey, Brian Finale, if you're watching, love ya. I'm kind of like telling you I want to speak on stage, right? I'm going to share this awesome thing about how getting a bowl of ice cream will forever change your life. Matt can tell you it will. It will, I promise. But yeah, so that's it. And the thing is, people, I'm just like you and you're just like me. I'm no better than you. I'm no worse than you. You know, we are people and we are inherently like human, which means we make mistakes. And the thing that I've learned is it doesn't matter where you've been in your life. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter your past. It doesn't matter if you have a college education or not, or a high school education or not, if you've been to jail or not, or whatever, because people don't follow you for where you've been. And if they judge you for that, then they don't need to be in your life anyway. People follow you for where you're going. And, you know, I completely changed my life because I made a decision to change my life. And when you make a decision to do something and then you don't allow anything to avert you from that, because that is the most important thing, your why, your mission, there's no stopping you. There's nothing that will stop you. You can do whatever you want. You can have whatever you want. You can be wherever you want. You know, Matt has been in MLSP less than a couple months. I've been in MLSP less than a couple months. My 2 months is February 19th. Today is February 12th. And in less than 2 months, I hit L1, L2, and L3. And I remember the month of February. And it's just been amazing, you know. And it's not because I'm good or better or smarter than anybody else. I've been doing it a little bit longer because I've been in internet marketing now for almost 4 years. But in all honesty, let's keep it real. There are people who've been in this industry for 10, 15, 20 years and have never done what I've done in less than 4. And people say, why is that? Well, because it makes a difference on your why. And I always say this, hashtag mission matters. Mission matters. What your mission is in life, your why, what's right here, is what will be the beginning of the determination of whether you will be successful in this business or not, right? And doing also hashtag whatever it takes, which means Try something. If it don't work, try something else. If it don't work, you keep trying something until you find something that does work. But you never quit, because when you quit, you're quitting on yourself, your future, your family, and everything that you want in these dreams that you have in your head. So you just never give up. You keep moving on. And that's what I do. You know, I literally, my why is to show people exactly what I just said, that it doesn't matter your past, none of that. It's just life lessons that you learn, but it doesn't determine your future, who you are, and that you can do anything you want. You are completely capable of creating whatever it is in your life that you want, you know, whatever you want, whatever it may be. You know, if you want to go live on the beaches, go live on the beaches, travel, be with your kids, go on vacation. I mean, whatever you want in life, you can. You just have to believe it and be passionate about fighting for it, because your mission matters. So I guess that's really the main part of my story.
There you go. Interview over. Thanks for coming on. We're done. Just kidding. Cool.
I'm out.
That's a good story. It's good. What is Cross to Start?
You know what? That's so funny. You were the first person who's ever asked me that on an interview.
I told you I had to make this like better than any interview you've been on. So I gotta be different.
And there's something else that I hope you do, and I'm not going to tell you, because then, like, if you don't do it, then I'm going to bust you at the end of this interview for not doing it. But I think you're pretty smart, so I think you figured it out. But I'm so glad you asked me that, because so many people, you know, like, people buy domains, and they don't, you know, they, like, think they know what they mean or don't know what they mean, or they don't ask. They just, like, click on it and go, right? And right. I love it, and no one's ever really asked. I explain it to sometimes when I put that link up, if how I'm segueing into my business can be explained what it is through, like, what Cross to Start is, and then I explain it. It's not often I do, but sometimes I do. So you may have never seen it, but I love that you asked that, because it's really important. You know, what's the goal of a race? Everybody wants to win. What's the goal of the goal? To win? You know, the goal of a race is to win. Well, in order to win a race, what do you have to do? Run.
Cross the start line.
You have to run your way. You have to, whatever race you're in, you have to complete it. You have to finish it to win it, right? And in order to finish it, you have to be in it, like running or bicycling or whatever the race is, the race of life, you know, whatever. And in order to be in it, you have to cross the start line, you know, cross the start, make the decision to change your life and step over that line, step over that fear, because I can promise you, my friends, on the other side of fear is everything that you want, right? On the other side of fear is everything. I'm afraid to do this. I'm afraid to try. I'm afraid to get started. I'm afraid it might be a scam. I tell people all the time, like, look, I can tell you what I do is not a scam until I'm blue in the face, but I cannot make you believe anything. The only thing that anyone who is in this type of industry can do is share our experiences. And you have to listen to that and take it. And based on what you hear, you know, obviously do research, because there are a lot of scams out there. Do research. But you have to go with your gut instinct, the person you're talking to, and, you know, do what you feel is best for yourself and your family. And if that's getting started, then great. You know, if it's with me, start with me, whoever you're talking to, whoever you're working with, whoever sent you here, get started with them. But, you know, if it's something that you don't think will work out for you, then that's okay too. You know what I mean? It's not for everybody, but it's not ever my intention, my job, my anything to coerce people, to convince people. You know, people are like, well, how do I know it's not a scam? And how do I do this? And I'm like, look, just don't even worry about it. You know, just don't even, because I'm not going to sit here and try to, like, beg you to do something that you obviously don't want to do. You know, I'm not desperate. I don't need people to sign up with me. You know, like, what I need, what I thrive off of, what motivates me is people who want, people who desire to change their life. You know, the way this industry works is, yeah, when you sign up with someone, you pay money. You have to pay. Running a business costs money. I don't know anybody who ever started a restaurant, a McDonald's, any business that is free. You know, you have to pay millions of dollars to do stuff like that, right? So, yeah, it costs money to run a business. And when you sign up with someone, yeah, they're going to make some money off you signing up, because the same thing. When you sign someone up, you make money off them. But I tell people all the time, whatever I might make off you when you sign up with me ain't worth me sitting there trying to convince you of something. Because, see, I want people to sign up with me who desire to be different, who desire to change their lives. Because I used to be that person who was sitting over there saying, man, I wish we could get a new car. Man, I'm over 30 years old and we still fucking rent, you know, like, I want a house. I used to be that person who was scared, and I just had to step over that start line. I had to step over the fear of failure. The fear of what it's a scam. Well, if it's a scam, so what? What did I lose? A few bucks, $100, whatever it is I'm signing up for. You know, if I lose it, I lose it. It's just money. So many people allow money to control their lives and don't understand that money is just a tool. And the longer that you try to like hold on to money, people hold on to money like this, like, I'm not gonna let it go. It's $5, it's $10, it's $150. When you hold on to things so tightly, your hands, do you see what I'm doing? My hands are closed. When you're doing this, you can't receive anything because your hands are so tight, holding on. When you let go, your hands are open to receive abundance. You know what I mean? Money is just a tool. Money is just a tool. And, you know, I don't know. So cross the start. Yeah, that was a little long explanation, but that's what it means. It means
Perfect.
Starting the cross.
Now I know what it means. I had an idea, but that makes sense. So I was like, does it mean cross start? I'm like, no. I think I'll ask her that question. So that makes perfect sense. Shumalayazam, what's up? What's up? Next question is, you know, what has having children taught you about life and about yourself?
Wow, that's like a 3-hour answer right there. What is having children taught me? Man, I wish my husband was listening to this because you asked me some good questions. He's like, I want to hear that. What is having children taught me about myself?
And about life.
And about life. Okay. Well, first of all, before I had children, my tolerance for putting up with children was like -0, like -10, like -100. Because, you know, like, if they're not your kids, it's like, oh, that person's so loud, or those kids, have you ever been to a restaurant and you're trying to enjoy food? And come on now, you're lying if you said you haven't. Like, everybody does. You go to the restaurant, you hear kids out of control, and you're like, man, why do people bring their kids to the restaurant? You know, they're being loud, they're bothersome, right? Guilty, did it, right? And then you have kids. Like, your tolerance level for children and patience level is like this big until you have some of your own. And then, I changed completely. My tolerance level was like, for my own kids, right? You know, but I understand it now, and I have I'm empathetic, sympathetic, whatever, to other people because, you know, I like to go out to eat with my kids, and sometimes they're just kids. It's what they do, you know. Now there's a big difference between disciplining and like just letting your kids run havoc and do what they want, obviously. But it's given me a new level and appreciation of just life because there is no tougher. And I don't care what you do for a living, whether you work from home, whether you're the CEO of some like Fortune 500 company, I don't care what you do. There's no more difficult job than being a parent. Notice I didn't say being a mom. I said being a parent, okay? Because being a parent is hard, whether you're mom or dad. It's the most difficult thing ever because, like, you're responsible for another human being. And the thing is that I always say this to my team, everything that you do, everything, every word you speak, every move you make, every action you take, hell, if you stick your finger up your nose, I mean, everything that you do, someone is watching you. When you have kids, that someone is your kids. And they imitate you, right? They mimic you. They want to be you. So you have to ask yourself on a daily basis constantly, am I behaving in a way that I would want my children to behave, right? Am I doing the things, am I living the way that I want to show them and raise them to be? So it really helps keep you in check as an individual. It's kind of like the integrity thing, which means doing the right thing even when no one else is looking. You know what I mean? And it keeps you in check, right? At least for me, it does. And I love that. And I also, you know, being a parent has taught me, and I should say, I would hope everybody would agree with me on this. It teaches you the tremendous power of responsibility that you have over other people, not just kids. You know, like I said, everything you say, everything you do, someone is watching, someone's hearing, and you don't really understand it. I didn't understand it until I got in this industry and I started really listening to audios and doing a lot of reading about mindset and stuff like that. I really never understood. You know, I always say to people, your voice has power. Like, you have the power to change someone's life. And I was like, what the hell? That don't mean nothing. I got power to change anybody's life. People do what they want to do. But that's not true. I mean, you ever heard, you know, someone say, if you just smile at a stranger when they're walking by, you could completely change their day? That's true. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. The way you talk to someone can completely transform their day. The things you say to someone, the way that you treat people can change everything for them. They could go from being hopeless and wanting to commit suicide to, wow, somebody smiled at me today. Maybe there is purpose. Maybe there is a meaning. And you have no idea the true extraordinary power that you have, that we each have as individuals. With every breath we take, with every choice we make, with every footstep we make, everything in our life. So when you have kids, it's like triple time, right? Because they're there 24/7 with you. Like I said, you stick your finger up. I mean, it's funny, you tell you, don't pick your nose, it's gross, right? Like, don't bite your nose, that's gross. And then, like, you catch yourself, like, one time doing that or whatever, and they're like, Mom, you told me not to pick my nose. And I'm like, shit, right? It's real, and it keeps you in check. And I love it. Like, it's extraordinary. And I know I'm a little long on this, but I want to say this because it's important. I said this on an interview I did last week too. You know, I expressed a little while ago that, you know, I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've almost been sober 5 years, one day at a time by the grace of God. And I was not living right. I was not a good person. I was a pretty horrible wife. I was a pretty horrible mom. I was just not a good person. And I never thought I would be where I am right now. I'm glad that I went through that because it's helped develop who I am now. But a few years ago when we bought our brand new Suburban, our nice $300,000 home, first-time homeowner. Not saying that to brag, saying that because most people who buy a first-time home, it's like a 60, 70 grand home. But because of this business and this industry, my first home was $300,000, right? I was able to do that. And that's just props to this industry and props to passion and getting what you want and doing whatever it takes. But anyway, so I was standing in the kitchen with my mother-in-law who lives in Florida, but she was up here visiting. And we were standing in the kitchen, which is just through that door, if you can see that door. And she was telling me how proud she was of me. You know, I love my mother-in-law. She's great. And she said, you know, I'm just so proud of how you've changed your life and what you've done. And she is retired now, but she used to be a pastor. And she was also a psychologist and a counselor, marital counselor, family counselor, all that stuff. So she's a smart lady. And she was just telling me how proud she was of me for changing my life and everything. And next thing I know, my daughter, who was in the living room, she came running up to her and she like tugged on the bottom of her shirt and she said, Gigi, Gigi, because she calls her grandma Gigi. And Gigi went down and said, yes, ma'am. And she said, my mommy was born to change people's lives. Now, I don't know if you could see the goosebumps on my arms just from me saying that. But still to this day, it gives me goosebumps because do you think my daughter ever would have thought that about me, living the way I used to live?
No.
She still remembers the way things used to be. Now, fortunately, I never like harmed my children or anything like that, but she remembers the times mommy wasn't home. You know what I mean? And that's painful enough for me. But for her to look at who I am now and what I do now and go to people and say, my mommy was born to change people's lives. There's nothing more powerful than that. There's nothing more important than that because she sees and she hears what I do and how I transform people's energy. It's not transform people's lives. I mean, a lot of people give you credit when you help them change their lives. I used to do that too. I used to give Dave Sharp credit because he was the person who spoke hope and inspiration into me. And he had to teach me, he's like, hey, Laura, I didn't change your life. You changed your life, right? I lit the match. You stroked the fire the entire time. So I don't transform people's lives, but I help influence and inspire and give hope to people. And they change their lives. But it's just the best feeling in the world to even play a small piece in that journey. And my children see that and love that. I mean, they've been to events with me too. And they're just like, Team No Sleep. They've got the shirts on and they're like all night. And I mean, they're all over it. So being a mom has totally, the short answer too late, I know, has transformed me in the way that I have learned the magnificent power I have as an individual to impact and influence other people's lives. I have learned that I have an extraordinarily high tolerance patience for children now. And just wanting to do good in the world, wanting to be the person that I want other people to be too, you know, so it's powerful. It's powerful.
Yeah. I want to read something that Teresa wrote. She said, you never know who's watching you. Keep this in mind in your marketing as well. Just when you think nobody's looking, it surprises you. Sometimes people fall for a long time before they make it known to you they're watching. And that's true. I've had people like come out and be like, hey, I watch you. And I'm like, and it annoys me because it's like they never say anything. I'm like, really? But it's true.
Oh yeah,
It's very true.
I've had people that have been following me for 2.5, 3 years, and then they like, it's so funny. They'll message me out of the blue. If I knew you were gonna say something about that, I would have pulled some old ones up. But they'll message me out of the blue. They're like, all right, I've been watching you for like 3 years. I know this isn't a scam because if it were, you wouldn't still be spinning it. So I'm gonna join you. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, cool, come on, come on, whatever. I'm not here, like I said, I'm not here to convince anybody. I'm just here to, to be me and to share my experience and what I do. And it's a wonderful thing. And I want to say this too because it's so important. All y'all out there watching, I don't think Matt's intention or anything he's saying or my intention or anything I'm saying or any comments that you're reading at all says that this is easy, right? It's not. It's not easy. I'm gonna be straight. Like, don't join if you think that this is gonna be like, oh, I'll sit in front of my computer for 15 minutes and money will just fall into my lap.
No.
People who own their own businesses are some of the hardest working people I've ever met in my life because we don't have bosses to say, do this, go here, be here, da 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 da. You are responsible for your own success. You are responsible for your own paycheck. So it's still working. Like, you have to go to a job to work. You still have to work your business. But the amazing thing and the benefit is that you get to work when you want. You get to not work when you don't want. You get to make as much money as you want. Like, if you're not stressed for money and you're cool and you're whatever, then you can lay off working, right? If the transmission goes out on your car and you need $2,000 like that, you're like, all right, I need to bust a hump for a week, right? You literally have the ability to make as much or as little money as you want. If you got a kid that's sick and can't go to school, you don't have to worry about calling your boss and your boss saying, if you don't get your ass to work, you're going to get fired. Because you work for yourself. You just be home, do what you want or don't work or whatever. So the benefits of owning your own business and working for yourself way surpass and are just extraordinary over having a job, right? I mean, just for millions and millions and millions of reasons. But don't think that it's easy, right? It's still work. This is not get rich quick. You still have to work. So
yeah, you gotta hustle, but it's a different kind of hustle. It's like the hustle that you enjoy, and it's a big difference, which I've learned recently after this week. It's fun and it's exciting. But it's like not like, oh, I gotta get up and go to this job, and you're working, you come back exhausted, you may get tired, but then it's like you're like, all right, I can do it again. It's such a big difference. Like the flame inside of you just keeps going. So
yeah, I said that. I don't know if you saw that. I said that. Well, I talked about this on a team call, and I don't know if you were on or if you heard or watched the replay, but it's like so many people, that have jobs in the real world, because people say what we do is not the real world, whatever. But they like work 9 to 5 or 7 to 3 or whatever their hours are. They come home, they spend a little time with their kids if they have kids, eat dinner, watch the news, play on the internet, and they're like, I gotta go to bed, get up at 6 and do it all over again. And that's just like Groundhog Day, over and over and over and over and over again. And they hate it, And I explain, it's like, man, I don't look at things that way because I love what I do and I'm passionate for it. I could go a day or 2 or 3 or 4 or however many days and make no money, right? But for me, the money, I would be lying if I said the money wasn't great. It is. But for me, it's not about that. Like, it's about helping people get one step closer to achieving what they want to achieve. Helping someone's, like, one day they may be like, oh, this is a scam, I'm not going to join. Okay, let me know if you change your mind, right? And then 2 days later, they might be, there's something about this. I keep coming back to you, and I feel a connection, and I might want to try this. Cool, talk to them a little bit. You know what? When I go to bed that day, I may not have made any money, but I talk to someone who's one step closer to realizing that they really do have the ability to have the lifestyle freedom that they want. That makes me feel good. So at the end of my day, whether I made a lot of money or whether I made no money, it's of no consequence. Why? Because I love what I do. And when I go to bed, it doesn't matter if it's 9 at night or 11 at night or 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. And I got to tell you guys, I get up between 6 and 6:30 every day because I have kids that I have to get on the bus, right? Either get on the bus or take them. But when I go to bed, no matter what time it is, I don't look at the watch and say, oh, I'm only going to get X amount of sleep and then I got to get up and do it all over again. Hell no. When I look at my watch, it's like, man, however much longer I have. So I got to be up in 4 or 5 hours. Cool. I don't have to wait too much longer before I get to do this all over again, right? That's the premise. People join the team and they're like, oh, this must mean I don't get to sleep to be on team no sleep. The funny thing is, like, Cindy, all they'll tell you, like, they message me and they're like, you're such a bitch. And I'm like, what'd I do? What's wrong? And they're like, this is addictive. We get what Team No Sleep means now, because when you love what you do, you never want to stop doing it. It's like you don't want to go to sleep because you're afraid you're going to miss that one person who comes to you and is saying, I'm ready, man. Like, today's my day. I'm ready to get started. You know, you just want to miss helping someone. And it's awesome. Now, Matt D knows because, like he said in the last week, he's had some changes, right? So he's feeling the difference in the pull of being able to do what you want all the time.
Right.
Not have to put that on hold, right? And only be able to do it certain times. So it's exciting for you. You're going through that right now. You're like, oh, this is sweet. I can do this all the time.
It is. I got mixed up like a certain schedule. Otherwise, I'll just. But yeah, I definitely understand. Like I realize I'm like, all right, I need to have some boundaries, or I'll just be all over the place.
Yeah.
So I can be productive. That is one thing I would tell people when they first get full time. You need to keep some sort of routine, at least for me, because if you, I don't know about you, I feel like for you, you're kind of like whatever, I'll get it done. For some people, it's like have a routine and stick to it, you'll be fine. But other than that, like you will have that drive, that fun is like I'm hustling. I'm like, nah, I know what it means, like infinite, and like you say, and when people say when you love what you do and you like it, it's not really work. You're like, this is fun. Like, okay, I can keep doing this.
All right, so I'm
gonna read it because
you said it. I said it, but you said it again, so I'm gonna read it. So I have this on my bulletin board over here. It's a quote from James Michener. I don't know if you can see that. Okay. And I took it and I wrote it. I put it on the sunset because I love it. This is so important. This guy should live by this. All right. So I'm gonna read this. I know most of it, but I don't have it memorized because it's long. The master in the art of living makes little distinction between his work and his play, his labor and his leisure, his mind and his body, his information and his recreation, his love and his religion. He hardly knows which is which. He simply pursues his vision of excellence at whatever he does, leaving others to decide whether he is working or playing, because to him, he's always doing both. Man, like, that gives me goosebumps, right? Seriously, because that's it. When you love what you do, there's no stopping you. And I got to say this because Matty D's like uses the word hustle. I got to tell you, you didn't know this, so don't feel bad. You didn't know this, right? I hate that word. Like, I hate that word, right? And I was going to like reference it to something, but I can't, because if I reference it to something, then I'll be giving away the other thing that you should be bringing up on this call, right? Which I don't want to do. The reason I hate the word hustle is because there's a misperception behind it, right? People will say, oh, you get your hustle on, like get your hustle on. And that's when people say that to me, it's like, oh, you're doing something to try to get something. Like, I got to get mine, right? And like someone called me a hustler a long time ago, and I'm about to snap on them, right? I was like, don't ever call me that, because that's not how I function, right? To me, it's not about getting mine. It's not about like I got to get mine, right? And when you use the word hustle or hustler, a lot of people perceive that that's what you're doing, like trying to get something and not give. See, what we do for a living, and you know this, Matt, because you do it too, is we give value, right? We provide value to people to help them change their lives. So to us, the way it means to us is not the misconception of I got to get mine, but so many people look at it that way, right? So like I got really offended when somebody called me that. I was like, I don't know who you're talking about, but you better check yourself, because I'm not a hustler. But I mean, there's nothing wrong with the word, as long as people understand what sense that we use it in, right?
Right.
That's so important to me, because my piece is about giving to others. It's not about getting, because when you can give away what you have, then your hands are open to receive abundance. So I love that.
Exactly.
Yep.
I will say this: for everyone here that's watching this live stream, the replay that happens, there is a vehicle I want to say that Laura and I do use called MLSP. I won't go into it right now, but definitely get with whoever brought you to this at the end and explain you more about it and say, look, this is what we use to help give value, get more value, give out to the marketplace, but also more important, show people, how they can do what we do for home. I mean, it's part of the reason why I have this, I say TV show, even though it's on the internet, but definitely at the end, we can, get back with us. We can, teach you like what it is that we do and show you how to really change your life. It's Benny. How you doing? Welcome to the show. I'm gonna ask the question exactly the way that I wrote it.
Okay, I'm scared now.
Yeah. How the fuck do you survive on like 2 hours of sleep like a week?
That's fine. I've always been this way. I don't know. I've always been this way. I actually did some research on it. I need to do a blog about it, right? I need to do a blog about it. Hello. I need to do a blog about it. But if you do some research, it's been a while since I did the research, but there is literally a certain amount of people in the world who require less sleep, who do not require the same amount of sleep as a normal, quote unquote, human being. We all know there ain't shit normal about me, right? So there are different types. I think it's 4, if I recall, different types of sleep habits that you can have, and literally you can live, if you're a type of person who requires less sleep, like you can go to sleep at 9 or 9:30 at night and sleep for like an hour, and then get up and stay up until like 4 in the morning and sleep for 30 minutes, and then stay up for like 6 more hours and then sleep for an hour. Like it's in patterns, and you only sleep little bits of time 4 times a day, and function just like a normal human being. I mean, I don't know. It's really weird. I think I'm just one of those people who requires less sleep. Just like anybody else, though, if something really, major happens in my life, I lost my mom on September 30th. She passed away, and she was so young, 63. And, I went into this like just shutdown mode, and all I did was sleep, right? Like it was a struggle, but I think that would happen to anyone, because, my body was so stressed and exhausted for several months during her sickness. But I just, I don't know. I guess maybe it's the adrenaline and just being, like I said, just so pumped up about what I do. Like, I just love what I do. I've never had that, I got to go sit in front of the computer and work. I got to go market. I better do a video. I better do an interview. Like, I better do a team call. I better post it. Like, that's not it. It's like, okay, what am I doing today? All right, I got to do this at some point. I got to do some laundry, do the dishes, whatever. Let me eat, right? And anybody who knows me knows there's not ever food too far away from me. Like, I eat a lot. And it's always right here. But I just love what I do. I always want to be doing it. And I said this last week too. People who don't do this industry, like who aren't, work from home internet marketers, like crazy weird like we are, don't really get this. My husband didn't, right? So for all you guys out there watching and you're like, oh, my spouse isn't supportive, or they don't understand, or whatever, right? Let me share this and maybe this will help you. So a few years ago, when we went on vacation, we went to Virginia Beach. We did a road trip, like we went to Williamsburg, Busch Gardens, went to Richmond, Kings Dominion, I was in Virginia, obviously. Went to Virginia Beach, and, like, I would grab my phone, and, whenever it hit me, whenever I felt like I grab my phone and, like, turn it on, I'm like, hey, guys, in Florida, Parrish, mastermind, like, because it's just what I do. It's what I love, right? And my husband would, like, look at me outside his eyes, and then we'd have a discussion later. He's like, man, can't you stop working? We're on vacation, right? You guys feel that? Anybody else out there feels that? And it's a frustration. And it's like, maybe you answer your spouse with, I have to do this, right? Or we need to do this, or this is what I have to do to be successful. And I've never answered him that way, because that's not true. What I say is, you don't understand that there is no working versus not working for me, because I am my business and my business is me. And what I do, I'm doing because it's coming from here. I'm doing because I love it. I'm doing because I feel a pull inside of my heart at any given time, a pull from having gratitude. And when that happens to me, I want to share it. Like, I want to share it because I want other people to be able to feel that. Because so many people in this world are alone. Like, they feel like there's a hole, like there's empty, and they're searching and they're looking for someone who has what they want, right? That's why I said earlier, you never know who's watching. Someone needs to hear your story. Someone somewhere is waiting to hear exactly what you have to say. I'm sorry, it's just true. And when I'm at the beach, which I was, and I'm walking, down the boardwalk, which I was, and I even did a video. That's what I'm talking about. I did a video. And I should find it on YouTube and put it on my wall so you guys can see it. But we had been watching the movie Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. I'm not talking about the new one. I'm talking about the good old-fashioned Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Yeah.
Yeah, Gene Wilder and all that. And in the car, and like when it got to the part where Charlie found the last golden ticket, right? I was just like looking back, watching my kids watch it on the Suburban DVD player, and like the look in my kids' eyes was like, and to see that for the first time ever, my perception of that movie changed. Because before it was just an awesome movie, like kids me, oh, I got the golden ticket, right? But when I watched my kids' faces as they were realizing the joy that Charlie had from finding that last golden ticket and what it meant to that boy, because look at his family. You know what I mean? They were living on bread and soup, and he was working at 13, 14, throwing papers to even be able to provide for his family and trying to save money to give his grandpa Joe tobacco. You know what that ticket meant to that boy, right? And to see my children's face and understand that, like when we got to the beach, I got out and I was walking down, and I did a video about that. I didn't do a video because I was like, fuck, I know I'm on vacation, but I better market it. I did a video because what happened to me right here in the car when I was washing my children's face because they were watching a movie that I've seen a million times and never looked at it that way, that inspired gratitude in me. And I wanted to share that. Like, hey guys, if you ever watched this movie, you probably never thought anything of it, right? But look at it this way, because today, for the first time ever, I saw it this way. And that moves people. Like, if you're watching this right now live, how did what I just say make you feel? If you're watching the replay, did that move you at all? That's not some marketing scheme made up bullshit to try to get you to join my biz op, right? That's about life. That's real. That's like, wow, think about the impact of that. And it moved me. You know what I mean? And I want to share that with the world. And see, this internet thing that we have, this internet, this World Wide Web, and this Mark Zuckerberg thing we have, Facebook, it's incredible because it allows people who have come into the mindset that we now understand that we have the power to positively affect and change this world one person at a time. It allows people like me to reach out to people like you watching this right now who feel hopeless and desperate and don't know any other way to live except what society has taught you. You've got to go to school, then you've got to work for 50 years, and then you're going to retire and you're going to have no money, then you're going to die. That brainwashed bullshit that you've been set up with, this internet thing allows people who have come into the vision and the mindset of how things really can be to share that with you so that you understand you don't have to live that way, right? So when I pick up my phone to do a video, I don't give a shit if I'm on vacation or if I'm in the middle of Walmart with kids screaming, like my kids acting stupid. I'd be like, shut up, I'm doing a video, right? Like, I'm doing a video. Like, I'm going to do what I need to do. And my husband didn't understand that until I explained it to him. So now when I do a video, it doesn't matter where we're at or what we're doing. If I pick up my phone, I'm like, hey, I'm doing a video. He's like, cool, right? And I'd be like, hey, Blanton, say hi. And I'll put the video on him, but hey guys, what's up? Because he gets it now. There is no distinction, kind of like that quote I read right here from James Missioner. I have no distinction between my business and my life or vacation or not being on vacation. It is me, and I am it. And when you become one with what you do, it's just what you do. It's just who you are. You love it. I never fucking sleep because I don't want to. Because I'm tired, and then I get on the computer and my team's freaked out. I'm like, yo, I gotta go to bed. I'm tired. They're like, what? Are you okay?
Exactly.
Because I'm tired, but I get the sleep that I need. But how I do it is I don't ever want to stop because it's the best feeling in the world to change someone's life. And if I can help someone go from where I used to be to where I'm at now, then that means more than anything else in the world. And I got to say this too. This doesn't go just for people who have addiction or problems with, alcohol, drugs, food, whatever your addiction might be, whatever your sin might be, your evil twin or whatever, your demon. But when you make a decision to change your life, when you love what you do, and you've been in that dark spot, you've been in that addiction, you've been in that struggle, you've been in that demon, and then you break free from that, let me tell you something. The moment that your mind ever thinks, well, maybe it would be a good idea to do that again, just stop and think and play the whole movie through. Think about what your life was like when you did that thing before, and all the shit you went through and all the problems you had and everything that you had to deal with just to get through it, to get to where you are today. Because when you play the movie all the way through, I can promise you at the end, you'll say, that's probably not a good idea, right? And the reason I share that is because the moment you forget where you came from will be the moment you go right back to it. And that's why I always keep it real. That's why Maddie D loves me, right? because I'm always going to keep it real. I'm never going to be fake or try to put on a show or be somebody I'm not, because it's important to me, not just for my business, but for my life, because I am a recovering alcoholic, for my children, because I am a recovering alcoholic, for my family, because I am a recovering alcoholic, that I never forget, because the moment I forget, I'll go back to it. And I've learned, the funny thing is, people say a lot to me, what's the most important thing in your life? If someone asked you right now, what's the most important thing in your life, what would you say? Your spouse, your kids, your job, what would you say? When people ask me that, I say my sobriety. And they look at me weird, like, okay, because here's the answer to that. I've learned that the first thing I ever put in front of my sobriety will be the second thing that I lose, right? So you got to remember what's important and where you came from. So anyway, long answer again. You see, you got to stop asking me questions, because you will get long.
That's why I ask these questions. It's good answers. What do you feel that people get wrong about, when it comes to marketing online?
When it comes to the marketing piece of it, or when it comes to misperceptions of doing work online? Like, what do you mean?
The marketing piece.
Like, what do they do wrong?
Yeah, like they come on and they may. I mean, we see this all the time. People like spam.
Yeah, I got you.
Spam, like,
I got it. Be quiet. I got it. No, I'm just kidding. I say this all the time. Look, if you're an internet marketer, I'm going to give you an example here. I'm going to keep it real. Maddie D's about to laugh because he's going to love this. All right. If you're an internet marketer, you obviously have a Facebook account. And you know that there's like 8 million work from home groups. Share your link here, work from home here, business opportunities, affiliate marketing. Like, there's 8 million work from home groups. And so you know that if you go into those groups, there's like 10,000, 20,000, 40,000, 60,000 members. So like every 2.5 seconds, there's a new thing hitting the news feed, right? New thing, new thing, new thing. And this is what I gotta say, and I love saying this because it's true. I am so sick and tired of people putting pictures of themselves Photoshopped in front of a damn house they don't own, a car they can't afford to buy, and money that they don't have, right? Ain't nobody gonna buy from you. Like, nobody's gonna buy from you. Nobody, it's fake. You can see that it's fake. People who do that shit make people who are genuine like me look fake, because it just makes the whole industry look bad, right? Because that's not what it's about. Like, this is not about getting rich quick. There's that's why there's so many scams out there, because it's companies is like, get in, make money fast, get in, 100% commissions right now, get in, make money fast, make money fast, make money fast. Everybody jumps on it because it's like, whoa, make money fast, get rich quick, and then the FTC comes in and shuts that shit down.
Mm-hmm.
Wonder why? Because you know what, people? Come on, let's keep it real. Work is work, and you have to work for a living in your life. It doesn't mean you have to work that brainwashed way that the school systems and everything and the world tells you that you got to work, right? You still have to work when you have freedom like we do, but it's still work. There's nothing free. Like, even if you want to win the lottery, but you still have to pay to win, right? Because you got to pay to play. So there's nothing free. There's nothing free. People who put all that shit in those groups is not cool. Like, it's just not cool. It makes us look fake. Stop doing it. Right? If you want people to sign up under you, I did a Periscope about this a long time ago. So it's on my YouTube channel. But if you want people to sign up under you, if you want people to join you in your business, here's the number one piece of advice I can give you. Stop selling your business. Is that weird? Sound weird? I want people to join my business, but you just told me to stop selling my business. People don't join businesses. People join people. Okay? People don't join businesses. People join people. People will join you because you have something they want. If they wanted to join a business just to join a business, then it wouldn't matter who they signed up under, right? But people join you because you are showing them that you have something that they want. If you want to get people to join you and you're in those groups, how about providing value? Like doing a video, don't ask for anything. Just get on a Periscope, shoot it. When you do a Periscope, here's a tip. Here, look, I'm giving y'all Periscope nuggets. This is what I do. Repurpose everything you do. When I do a Periscope, guess what? It saves it on your phone. After you do a Periscope, it's still on your Periscope channel for 2 days. It's also now on catch.me permanently. You can put it on your YouTube channel, which I do. You can repurpose it into a blog and then share it all over Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, the whole 9 yards. You can put it straight up on Facebook. Like, when you do one thing, it can be used for a million different things. So if you want to get people into your business, how about get on a video and just give value and don't ask for shit, right? Come join me. My company's #1. Hey, I wanted to shoot this video today because I learned some cool Periscope tricks and tips, and I just wanted to share it with you, right? So share all the content, the value, and then at the end say, obviously, I'm an internet marketer. If you're interested in doing what I do, check out my site. Boom. Drop your link in. That's it. Period. People will go to your link and put their info in, and you'll then end up on your list for the sheer fact that you gave them value and you didn't try to sell them, right? People want to click on links that have videos instead of just click on pictures that have cash and houses you don't own and cars you can't buy, right? Things like that. Give away free stuff. Give away value. So, yeah, the bad thing, stop spamming with the shit that's not real. Cool? Like, just be you. Hashtag you be you. There you go.
Hashtag you be you. I'll have to hashtag that, not on Twitter, which I don't really use. Yo, Mike McDonald, thanks for joining. What did you say, Laura?
I said I don't use Twitter either, but it's connected to my Facebook, so anything I put on my Facebook auto shares over there.
Oh yeah, you can do that. I forgot. That's right. I need to do that. Thanks for reminding me about that. Here's an interesting question. I forged down. I'm interested to see what your answer would be. You're kind of like, oh shit, here it comes.
Yeah,
here it
it's
comes.
like one of the most amazing interviews I've ever had because you are asking questions. You're asking me questions that nobody ever asked me. Normally the questions I get are like really generally the same, like how'd you get started, how'd you get where you are, which, you know, it's cool. Yeah. Everybody asks me that. I get that. But like these are other questions above and beyond. So I'm excited. I'm like, tell me more.
You're like, I can't go to sleep now. Not for like 3 days. Let me ask you this. What's the correlation between Girl Scout cookies and internet marketing?
Oh, hell. Now, we gonna be on here. Look, now, y'all don't know me. You might know him. Like, this is my first Blab ever, right? And 5 hours, right? Okay, well, let me ask you this, because this will take a long time unless you be more specific. Is there something specific you want me to discuss?
Well, yeah, like how does it relate? Because you posting, you know, you put a picture of like a shit ton of like Girl cookies. Like it was wow. Like I've never seen many. My sister was a Girl Scout. We never had any in the house, so I don't know what the hell y'all. I don't know if you're like, look, you're gonna be. I don't know if you told your daughters, you're doing Girl Scouts. You're going hard. You're going all in. You're getting like a shit ton of boxes. If you don't sell them, I swear, like, I don't know what you told them. It's just like, what the fuck did you teach them?
Okay. So, all right. I need some comments over here. I don't know if, like, where I can see comments. I see messages on the right side. Is that
those are the comments, yeah.
Okay, so do you guys want to know about this Girl Scout thing and how it relates to marketing and how my daughter's had the success she's had with Girl Scouts? I mean,
one for yes, two for yes, we want to know.
Like, I'm not going to go into all that if you're really not interested in hearing all that. Okay, I don't see anybody saying anything. I don't think I'm in the right section.
Is she on your right?
Yeah, the last thing I see, Teresa says it's about this your daughter, no matter what it takes. Who wants to know? Maggie says, who wants to know? Okay, I just saw it. Great story. Yeah, okay, all right. Well, first of all, just to back Maddie D up here so y'all don't think he's a liar, all right? I'm going to move my camera. I'm going to show you a shit ton of Girl Scout cookies. All right, hold up.
What the actually, that's a lot. I think it was more a couple weeks ago because I was like, damn.
Oh, we just got that yesterday. That's new. That's yesterday. All the other ones are already sold. Hello. Let me guess. You want to know how?
Yeah. What?
Okay. So, all right.
Cookie warehouse. She does.
Well, you know what? I'm not even the cookie mom. That's the funny thing. But it looks like it because I have a shit ton of cookies, right? Well, first of all, I don't know how many of you guys out there were ever a Girl Scout, all the girls out there, or if you were a boy, you know, you had a sister who were in Girl Scouts, your mom was a Girl Scout, whatever, right? So a lot of you guys might know about Girl Scouts or been in it, right? Okay, so anyway, the way Girl Scout cookies work, at least when I was a Girl Scout, is you run around with this big-ass sheet of paper and you knock on people's doors with your cool little vest or your sash on, and you're like, oh, would you like to buy Girl Scout cookies, right? Back when I was doing it, it was $3 a box. Now it's $4 a box. I sold to this lady with my daughter the other day. She's like, when I was a Girl Scout, it was 36 cents a box. I was like, shit.
30.
Older. But it's cool, right? I mean, whatever. So, but she was like checking out my daughter's vest and all the badges and the patches and stuff, whatever, which if you're interested, I can bring that out a little bit. But anyway, so that's the way it used to be. You walked around and you sold, and then you order the cookies, and then you get the cookies, and then when you go deliver the cookies, then you get the cash, and then you take the cash and you give it back to the cookie mom before you can get more cookies. Well, that's really hard. For me to correlate that to marketing would be like doing the whiteboard circles and shit in people's living rooms, right? Old school. But last year was Samantha's first year as a Girl Scout, and so it was her first year selling. She did a badge. She sold like 488 boxes, which is like 1,900 bucks, I think. And but we did that. We didn't have them on hand. We did the walking around, and we just did the neighborhoods. Like, that's all we did. So this year, when it came to cookies, we're like, there's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way. There's got to be a better way to sell more. There's got to be a better way to squeeze time, right? Compress time. There's got to be a better way to reach more people. And after she was working on her philanthropist badge, and she learned what, when she was working on the philanthropist badge, we did a field trip to the Salvation Army, and she learned what ways the Salvation Army gives back to the community, all the ways that the Salvation Army helps the community, right? So she also decided to do her give back badge this year, which I actually happen to have right here, since you're bringing up Girl Scout cookies, right? Which this is a huge badge. This is a legacy badge. It's a lot of hard work.
Oh, wow.
She wanted to do that, which basically means she had to pick an organization, and she picked the Salvation Army because she learned how they help the community so much. And she had to pick an organization, make a giving goal, and she set a giving goal to give boxes of cookies to the Salvation Army to give back to them, since they give to the community, so that they can put boxes of Girl Scout cookies in their boxes that they give out in the food pantry to people that need food. Because she thought that would be a good treat. People can't afford cookies, and they're having to ask for food, and she thought that would be a nice treat to see Girl Scout cookies, whatever. So she decided to do that. Well, so it's kind of a twofold thing. Well, I can tell you right now, she has sold 1,127 boxes of cookies this year just to people. All right, not to the Salvation Army donation thing, which is about $4,500 worth of cookies. I can also tell you that before this cookie season started, she decided, this is key. What did I say earlier in this call that I made
the decision?
She decided that she wanted to win a laptop. And you're like, where did that come from? Well, the Girl Scouts of America, each region, gives away a major prize to whoever sells the most cookies. Well, this region gives away a laptop, and to whoever sells the most. And the same girl has won it the last 2 years in a row. So the thing that's messed up is, like, you can't even track that shit. Like, I didn't know who the person was that had won it, like where she lives, how old she is, like anything. I had to like contact Girl Scouts and be like, who won? And then I found out, same girl 2 years, and she sold $13,000 in cookies for 2 years in a row. So I let my daughter know, and she said, I want to do it. And so this is what I said to my daughter. Because, somebody put this post up, it was big. It was on the media. It was trending on Facebook. That's how big it was. This post up about how Girl Scout cookies and parents have gone crazy because parents are like, it's like sports competition trying to sell the most cookies for their kids, right? And it really pissed me off, and here's why. Because when my daughter came to me and said, I want to win the laptop, and I'm going to outsell that other girl who's been doing so much, right? I didn't say, okay, whatever, let's do it. I said, okay, I'll get back to you. And I sat down and I had a conversation with my husband. And I said, so Samantha says that she wants to win this laptop, which means I've done some research, and I know that she's going to have to sell about $14,000 for Girl Scout cookies to do that, which is like lots of Girl Scout cookies. And it's like $3,500 boxes, I believe. And he said, okay. And I went through, what it would have to do and how long we have to do it, because you can only sell cookies for so long. So not only did she decided she wanted to achieve something, she has a timeline, right? A time limit. Remember at the beginning of this call when I talked about I went to an event and said at the next event I was going to be on stage, I was a banner and all this? Well, I had a time limit because the next event was only 3 months away, right? So you're seeing some similarities here. So my husband said, okay, and I said, I'm willing to do it if she's willing to do it. because I'm not one of those parents that's going to like do it for her. Like if she wants to do it, she has to do it. But if she's willing to do it, are we going to commit to backing her? This is important because it's like in internet marketing with your team. If your team says they're going to do something, do you commit to help them succeed? Do you commit to back them? If you're a team leader and you say you're going to do something for your team, or you say you're going to suit up and show up, or you say you're going to do this, are you committed to that? Because people look to you to stick to your word and keep your commitments. So we went to her and we're like, okay, if you're willing to commit, that means every moment that you are not in school, you are not eating, and you are not sleeping, you're going to have to sell Girl Scout cookies. Like, do you understand that commitment? Like, we're going to tell you it's going to be a long road. Like, it's not going to be playing outside when you, whatever, bored, because there is no board. This is like you're going to eat and sleep Girl Scout cookies for the next 3 months, right? There is no complaining and whining. This is a choice you have to make, and if you make that choice, we commit to help you. She said, I'm ready. Let's do it, Mom. I said, all right. So then we came up with a game plan. So she made a decision. She made a commitment once she knew what was required of her to reach that commitment. She has a timeline. So now we put together a game plan. How can we compress time from what we were doing last year? Well, why don't we just get the cookies and have them here already? So what we do is we have our inventory on hand. I order 40 cases at a time. Well, 40 cases of cookie at 12 boxes in a case is 480 boxes. So times $4 a box, there's $1,920 worth of cookies sitting right there. And she's already sold 4,500, and she's going to sell 14,000. So how many boxes of cookies do you think? Really, it would fill this entire room, actually, my office. So if you can see the correlation of what's happening here, it's marketing, right? So we decide to have the cookies on hand. And then what else can you do? This is marketing, people. It's just like what you do for a living in your business. If you work from home, if you want to work from home, you say, what do? I don't know what to do. Well, what do you have? Do you have inventory? We have MLSP. That's our inventory, right? It's a funnel system. It's a business in a box. It's a way to help people work from home and make money if they want. If they have coaching or whatever else they want to put on the back end, they can. But I'm talking about keep it simple, basic. If you just want to have walkaway residual 100%, like straight up get some income, from day one, the system lets you do that. So we have inventory on hand, right? And what can we do to cut down compressed time? Instead of going around taking orders and then coming back with cookies, we just take the cookies with us everywhere we go, right? And we pile the back of that fucker full of cookies, and we take the sheets, and we go. What else can we do? Because, see, you have a cute little girl, you have a great product, your inventory, if you have a great product and you're passionate about it, right? You have them on hand, which makes it what? Irresistible. Can't say no to that. It's a great product. The person selling it has a good heart, is passionate about what they're doing because she's a Girl Scout. She's passionate about it. She made a commitment to do it. It's irresistible because you have them right now. You're on hand. How can people say no to that? They can't. So you say, all right, well, that's great. So you've got the game plan. You've got them on hand inventory. She's passionate about it. She's cute. She's made the commitment. But how do you expect to reach that volume? Like that amount. It's kind of like saying you want to make 10 grand in 3 months. How do you do that? You don't sleep. No, I'm just kidding. How you do that is the commitment piece. How you do that is like my daily method of operation that the people who interviewed me last week asked about. I said, if I want to go to sleep, then I've got to get this done. And I use the example. It's like if you want to take your kids to a movie and they've got 6 o'clock showing, a 7:30 showing, and a 9 o'clock showing, you know what? If you want to take them to the 6, you better have your stuff done. And if your stuff's not done at 6, then you say, I can't take the kids to the movie. Then you better have it done before the 7 showing. And if it's not, you don't get to take them to the movie. And guess what? If your stuff's not done by the 9 showing, then you got to look at your kids and say, I'm sorry, I can't take you to the movies because I didn't get done what I need to get done for my business.
That's a gut punch right there.
How many times you gonna think? How many times do you think you're gonna do that? How many times do you think you could look at your kids and say, I can't keep my commitment to you because I didn't get done what I needed to get done?
0.
That won't happen too often. You'll get done what you need to get done. So this is how we're gonna reach that goal. We have the inventory. It's on hand. We've got someone who's committed, someone who's passionate. Now we just have to go, 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 go. We have a deadline. Go, 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 go. We have a deadline. Go, 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 go. We have a deadline. What can we do to sell more? Fuck going around the neighborhood. When you go door to door, you get one person, right? Or one couple, a house, or kids. We go to businesses. We pack up a Suburban. Look, I hope you have Girl Scouts in this region out there watching this right now, because I'm giving away all our secrets how we doing this, right? So we go and we hit shopping centers, okay? We hit shopping centers. So we take them like strip malls. When I say shopping centers, strip malls, like places like Vape Dojo. I'm going to give some shout outs to places that we've gone to. Vape Dojo, they're amazing. They buy a shitload of cookies and say, come back next week. We go back, they buy more. There's a insurance company down the street from where her school is, and they say come back every week, and they buy more every single week, right? So there are places that ask us to come back, and we go back to them weekly and just buy more and more and more, right? So we're hitting strip malls. We go into the mall. I was using a suitcase, but I don't have to use a suitcase anymore because we bought a cookie cart. You see that little green thing right there, that cookie cart?
Yeah.
We fill that thing with boxes of cookies, and we just push it around the Valley Mall here. So we're going in the mall and going to the stores, and everybody buys because there's a lot of people in there, right? Literally, one time we just didn't feel like walking anymore. We took the suitcase to the food court in the mall, and we just laid the suitcase down, unzipped it, and opened it up where people could see all the Girl Scout cookie, all the different kinds in the box. And we just sat there. We just sat there with the order form. We just sat at the table with the order form. In the food court, we sat there with the order form and a suitcase open so people could see cookies. Those fucking people came running. They're like, oh my gosh, when we go by Auntie Anne's, y'all know Auntie Anne's, right? The pretzel company.
Oh, yeah.
All them work there. Every time we go in the mall, even if we don't have the cookies like on us because we're doing something else other than selling cookies, the kids will stop us because they recognize us now. They're like, can I get to Carol on the lights? Do you have Thin Mints with you? And I'm like, hold on, I got to go to the car to get them. So we're creating this. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's awesome. So that's how we're going to do it, okay? But here is another thing that we're doing to take it to the next level. Marketing, right? There's a story here, guys. This isn't just about something cool, and funny and good or whatever. This is marketing. So she's well on her way to having the success that she desires. But how can we do more on top of what we've already done quicker? So we decided to do a GoFundMe page.
Oh, yeah. I got the link for that.
Why can we do GoFundMe? Well, because she's doing this Give Back badge where she decided that she wanted to donate cookies to the Salvation Army. Now, I can promise you right now, already door to door, she has got 145 donations to the Salvation Army. So that's $580 that she has gotten, that people pay the money, and we're setting the cookies aside. And at the end of the sales, we're going to take the cookies, and she's physically going to take the cookies to the Salvation Army locally here and deliver them to them. Not only is she doing that, she's getting every single email address for every single person who donates for this. And I've put them in my autoresponder under a campaign of its own called Girl Scout Cookies. And I'll be shooting out an email to them letting them know when the big day of delivery is, when we're going to deliver them. And the day that she delivers the cookies, I'm going to do a video from the moment she wakes up in the morning until the moment it's all over, right? Like, I'll do a bunch of videos and then I'll splice them all together. Like, I'm going to wake her up in the morning and be like, hey, Samantha, today's the big day. How do you feel? We're going to make a big production of it. And then I'm going to splice all those videos together, and I'm going to send that out to all the people who donated money for this so they can see what their money is doing inside of this community because of something that she decided to do. That's powerful. That's amazing. And that's something you can leverage on a GoFundMe. So we set up a GoFundMe page, right? And we've already gotten I think $144 donated to it. And I just set it up 2 days ago. The goal is $10,000. Why 10,000? Because she wants to donate 2,500 boxes of cookies. 2,500 boxes of cookies is $10,000, right? So if you go to, and I'm going to plug it right here, gofund.me/Sam Gives Back. That's gofund.me/Sam Gives Back. If somebody can put that in the comments, that'd be great. Thank you. Thank you. If you could do that, you can read the story. It's exactly what I just wrote, or you can read the story. It's exactly what I just said. But anyway, check this out. This is how it gets even bigger. And if you saw my Periscope earlier today, you already know this. Maddie, did you see it?
I was focused on other stuff.
Okay, so you didn't see it?
No.
Okay, so you're about to be floored. Check this, guys. You guys, are about to see Maddie D's reaction. Hey, give me some hand claps here because it's about to get real, all right? Maddie D's reaction is about to go through the roof when I tell him what I'm getting ready to tell him. This marketing stuff is going to blow all you guys away right here, right now. Are you ready? I want to know if you're ready, right? So check this out. So I set up this GoFundMe page, and I'd already planned on like trying to contact our local news, like, you know, ABC, NBC, stuff like that, to see if they would do a special on her, not to get more money for the donations, even though that would be great, but because I think what she's doing is really important for the community. But I hadn't done it yet. Well, check this out. This morning, I got an email person from the public relations woman in charge at public relations at GoFundMe. She emailed me and she said, we are looking for powerful stories of people who are changing their communities. And we saw your story, you were in Samantha's story. And we were wondering if you would be interested in allowing us to feature you on public media. Hello, yes, where do I sign up, right? So I emailed her back immediately. And I said, absolutely, where do we sign up? What do we do? And she says, you don't have to do anything. Just send me a few sentences about why Samantha decided to do this, and I will start the marketing for it right now. And I'm like, wow. Like, it will draw so much money and donations to your campaign. It would be crazy. And then she emailed me 3 links, and she said, here are some links to check out of other people that we've done this for. And I clicked on all 3 links, and it takes you to videos of girls being interviewed, or well, what she said were girls. It wasn't Girl Scouts, though, so I don't want to confuse anybody. Being interviewed, like, on morning news stations. So Samantha's going to be on news, right? Because we started, it was just about selling some Girl Scout cookies. And then there was a goal, a decision, a goal, a timeline. How can I do more? How can I make it better? How can I give more? How can we help this go faster? How can we achieve more? And it turned into set the goal, pretend you've already achieved it, right? Decide you already have it. I bought, where is it at? Hold on, let me get this. Hold on. I bought this for my daughter at a mall lock-in. Do you know what this is? I bought this at a mall lock-in. You know what this is?
No, what is that?
It's a laptop bag. It's a Girl Scout laptop bag.
Oh,
you know why I bought this? I bought this because I know my daughter's going to win that laptop. How about that, right? I already decided. She already decided. When you already decide you have what you want, it speaks to the universe and things start to change for you when you already believe you have it, right? So that's amazing. She's going to have it. She's going to win it. So now we've been contacted by public relations, GoFundMe, and they're going to feature her on the news. And it's just going to blow up. It's just going to go crazy, like crazy. It only gets bigger and it only gets better. And it's all because it started with a decision to change things, a decision. And everything that I just said a second ago, let's go back to that. And I want to ask you, what did I say? Did I ever say she wanted to know how she could make more? How she could get more? No. She wanted to know how she could do more, how she could raise more, how she could give more, right? Because it goes back to being of service to other people. When you're of service to other people, that's when things start to change in your life. I said that on stage in Chicago in 2013. I said, you know when my real breakthrough happened? When I stopped worrying about the almighty dollar, when I stopped worrying about how much money I could make and how I could change my family, and I started listening to the other people who were coming to me, who were struggling in their lives the same way that I had been struggling when I got started. When I started worrying about them and genuinely listening to their problems and where they were at and what they needed and how they wanted to change their lives so that I could truly be of service and help them change their lives, that's when I started making money. When I stopped trying to make money, right? When I started trying to be of service to people. And extraordinary things are happening in my daughter's life right now, right? Because she's being of service to people. And I don't take credit for what she's doing because she's the one who's doing it. I mean, I put a GoFundMe up, you know, big book. She's doing the work, right? But I do take credit for, had I never changed my life, had I never made a decision to be a different person, had I never decided that things were going to be different for my family and myself, had I never committed to that, I wouldn't be where I am right now, which means that little girl never would have seen this person. That means you right now, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching this replay, would never have seen this person, right? You're in the right time, right place for the right reason. There's no such thing as coincidence. And because I decided to do in my life what I decided to do, everything else has happened since then, including all this amazing stuff that my daughter is doing and the ability for you to sit here and listen to me, not because I'm better or smarter or anything else than anyone else watching this, but simply because I made a decision and that's in my heart and now I can share it with you. How amazing is that? So that, that is not marketing. I said live intentional. What does that mean?
Live intentional.
Oh, live intentional. Yeah. Yeah. So that's how marketing has affected Girl Scout cookies, right? It's the same thing. It's the same thing, people. It's marketing. Just saying, what's your goal? Decide, pick a goal, set a deadline for yourself, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. That's what it is. So
that definitely deserves this.
That is a clap.
I did not expect that answer at all. That was more than like what I thought.
I didn't even know about this.
You know what, babe? You want to give me the finger right now? There's an interview. I don't care. My girl's giving me the finger. She hates the horn. You can't see. She's trying to sleep right now.
I'm sorry, but yeah, did that blow you away when you found out that the PR person for the GoFundMe contacted me this morning? I was like, what? I was like, oh, we're gonna be on TV. It's so amazing. Yeah, I called the troop leader and I'm like, hey, get ready, we're gonna be on TV. Like this is gonna be big. So hey, guys out there, if you want to help my daughter's cause and give back to the Salvation Army, go to gofund.me/SandyGivesBack.
Boom. I like it. Going at like almost 2 hours, whatever. I got some good questions. Like you're bringing the energy. I like it.
We're at an hour and a half. We're at an hour and a half. Calm down.
Okay. Hey, I don't like to make things too long, but this is really good. People saying I'm enjoying it. What were some of your biggest challenges, and how did those challenges help you to become more successful when you first got started, online?
All right. One of the biggest challenges at first was I wanted to make people believe what I was doing wasn't a scam, right? Because you know how like if you know something, you know it, right? And I don't mean like a smart ass, like I know everything. What I mean is if you know something is real and you want to share it with someone, you want to make sure that they also know that it's real. You know what I mean? It's just kind of like if you don't know something, you just don't know it. So when I first got started and people were like, how do I know this isn't a scam? Like I would try to talk. I was like beating my head against the wall trying to make people believe something, all right? And it was very difficult for me because I was the type of person, and I say was because people are ever changing. Like I'll be a different person tomorrow than I am today because of this call I'm doing right now, right? You'll be a different person tomorrow than you are right now because of what you're hearing, okay? So I was the type of person who I was uber sensitive about what people thought about me when I first got in this industry. Oh, I didn't want to put it on my page. Well, not me. I'm speaking of other people who have said this to me. I don't want to market on my Facebook page because what if my friends see it? What if my family? Who gives a shit, right? I used to worry about what people thought about me too. I would try to make people believe the truth because I knew the truth of this was that it worked because I was making money with it. So I knew it worked and I wanted to make sure they knew it worked too. And I would like beat my head against the wall trying to make people believe something. And it hurt my feelings. Like I needed to learn to have thick skin and just get over it. Because there are people who just will never get it. And then there are people who just want to be assholes, and that's okay too. You'll never change them, right? You can't make anyone believe anything. And it's sad and it sucks and it's unfortunate because you truly know that there is a better way to live and you just want people to understand that there is, but I had to learn that you can't, and that was really hard. And it hurt my feelings when people thought I was a bad person or I was a scammer. I mean, I've had people call me names. I've had people say, you should be ashamed that you have children watch you scam people. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like I'm not teaching my children to scam people. Like my children love what I do, because I help change people's lives. So it was very difficult for me to get tough skin and learn that you can't force people to believe anything, right? Even though you know things are true. That was very difficult. Another difficult thing for me was when I wasn't having immediate success because at least for me, an A-type personality and me, a recovering alcoholic, those two things. I don't know what other combinations might make this, but those two things for me at least make this, which means I want what I want and I want it right now. And if I don't get it right now, then I got a problem, right? Like I got an attitude. And I wanted what I wanted and I wanted it right now. And I was working, 12, 13, 14 hours a day, boom, 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 on the computer and doing whatever it took. At least I thought I was doing whatever it took. I'm like not sleeping, I'm staying up, I'm grinding, I'm working all the time, and I'm not making any money. And I was frustrated and pissed, right? And I was like ready to pull my hair out. And I like broke down in tears and I hit up my sponsor. And I was like, what am I doing wrong? This isn't working. Like I'm working 12, 13, 14 hours. I'm not making any money. I know I'm doing what's right. I'm talking about my business. And she told me, she said, you need to calm down. You are trying too hard. Isn't it funny how we overcomplicate things? Isn't it funny how we just push and push and push and push and push, and we think the harder we push, the more we'll make or the more we'll accomplish? And that's not how it works at all. At all. It's about the more you give, not the more you push, right? The more you provide value, like I talked about a few minutes ago, not the more you try to force things and sell things. And so I was told, calm down, you're doing the right things, but you can't make people believe you. You can't make people join you. You just have to be your best authentic self. Do that, and things will change for you. So that was another struggle, believing that I was doing everything right and not making money fast enough for myself, right? Because, when you start, anything new is difficult. You have to have an adjustment period. And the other really difficult thing that was for me is the fact that I have kids. And I have always been a firm believer that you should never use the TV as a babysitter. I've never done that. That's one of the reasons I wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, so I could participate in my kids' lives, and do games and puzzles and have fun and participate and stuff like that, and not sit my kid in front of the TV and do whatever I wanted or sleep. A lot of parents do that, whatever. So when I got into this industry, I had to make a decision because I needed to work in this industry a lot, to build it. It's a grind when you start. I mean, I'm bluntly honest about everything. And so what I would do is I would sit my kids in front of the TV for 30 minutes and they'd watch Dora for 30 minutes, right? And then the show would be over and then I would take a break and do a snack with them. And then a new show would come on I don't know, Elmo. So then I would sit them in front of Elmo for 30 minutes and I would work. And then when it was over, I'd take a break and I'd put a puzzle together with them. And then I'd set them in front of the TV again for 30 minutes. You know what I mean? And then take a break. And I did that for a while. It was great when Samantha was in school. She's older, so she was in school, and then so during school day I didn't have to worry about that. But Blake was here with me because he's only 5 now, right? He was 1 when I got started in this almost, and it was difficult, and I had a lot of guilt for that. All right, so let's keep it real. I'm one of those real people. I had a lot of guilt for that because I never believed in that. But how did I get through that? How I got through that was I had to go look in the mirror and say, why are you doing this? What is your purpose? Why did you start this? Why is it okay for you to be doing what you're doing? And I made the decision that I remember the reason I started this is because I wanted something better for my family. I wanted to be able to buy the 300 grand first time home. I wanted to be able to buy the 70 grand Suburban, right? I wanted to not worry about if my electricity was going to get cut off today or tomorrow, or if I could come up with money to get it paid before they showed up to cut it off. I wanted to not have that stomach gut-wrenching feeling when a truck pulls up and you're like, are they cutting the water off today or the electricity, right? I didn't want that life anymore. And I made the decision. Is that 30 minutes that I'm sitting them in front of the TV, 3, 4, 5 times a day? Is that something they're going to remember for the rest of their lives? They're so young. Is that something that's going to be detrimental to them? Is that something that's harming them? Is that something that's going to traumatize them forever? Or is that a small, small sacrifice that I'm making right now so that in the future they can live the way that they deserve and want, because I'll be able to give them the life that they deserve and that they want? And then in there, I stopped the crying and I dried my tears. And I made the decision that it was a sacrifice I was willing to make. And I just needed to stop feeling guilty over it because what I was doing was going to change their life forever. So that's how I got through the guilt. So those were the biggest struggles for me. Those were the biggest struggles for me.
Wow, I'm like touched. Wow, man, that's deep. What would you say? What would you? I can't talk. What would be your advice to new people getting started? Like brand new, no experience. What would you advise them?
When you say getting started, do you mean like getting started inside of MLSP? Like what should they do first, or
just online in general?
Oh, okay. So they don't have a particular company that they're whatever. They made the decision they want to work it from home online. Yeah. Is that what you're saying? Well, I would say a few things. First, I would say get a freaking piece of paper and write down, I am responsible for my successes and failures. I would write that down on a piece of paper and I would tape it right above your computer so you can see it every time you look at your computer. Because the thing is when you get started in the industry, unless you're willing to sit and do a lot of research, you're going to have a lot of people coming at you from a lot of different angles saying, join my thing, join my thing, join my thing, join my thing. And unless you really take the time to do some research and find out if that thing is legitimate or not, which you should do, by the way, okay? Don't just write shit off as a scam because that's not fair to you, all right? That's not fair to you because you could be missing out on the opportunity to change your life when you do that. If there's something you're interested in, research it, okay? Research it. Do yourself the favor. Save yourself some heartache and do some research. But always, like I said, write that down and put it in front of your computer that you are responsible for your success and your failure. Because here's the thing. People will join businesses, and then when they don't have success, they quit and blame the job, or not the job, they blame their sponsor, whoever they signed up with. Oh, I failed because Laura Parrish wouldn't help me. Well, anybody who knows me knows that's the biggest crock of shit ever because I never sleep. I'm on the computer all the time because I love it and I want to be and I help everybody, right? So anyone who's ever quit and said that about me, and I'm like, yeah, people are going to laugh at you because people know me better than that, right? Or they quit and they say, oh, it was a scam. The company's not real. Whatever, right? I mean, the thing is when people don't have success, they want to blame. And it couldn't possibly be because they didn't work it, right? It couldn't possibly be that because they know how to do everything. It has to be the person they joined under, or it has to be the business. So then what happens? Then they move on to the next business that they decide to join. And so then they spend a lot more money, whatever, than they already spent. And then it doesn't work for them. And what do? The same thing. Oh, my sponsor didn't help me. Oh, the business isn't real, right? Come on with that. So then they join another thing. And the thing I want to say is if you're one of those people, let's go back to the common denominator. In all those companies and all those sponsors and all those things, what was the consistent thing? You. So if you're not working, what do you think the problem is if it's not working? You. Stop blaming your sponsor. Stop blaming the company. If you are interested in something, research it. That way, before you even start, you know it's real. If you're interested in joining someone within that thing that you know is real, research them and talk to them. So many people will say, oh, I want to join XYZ person because they've made X amount of dollars. Or I want to join XYZ person because they have 5 million people under them already, right? Don't join people for that. You could join the John Doe next door who has 2 people under him, okay? And he could be the best sponsor in the world for you. You know that? Because here's the thing, and I said this earlier, people join people, not businesses. If you join under John Doe or an ABC person because they have made X amount of dollars or they have X amount of people, but you never hear from them because they're too busy to talk to you, because they're too busy to take care of their team, then you're fucking pissed that you joined under ABC person because you're like, he never helps me, he never talks to me. Remember, your successes and your failures are your responsibilities, not that person's. But it's nice to have someone in your corner, right? It is. It's nice to have communication. It's nice to have a team. It's helpful to not feel abandoned, isn't it? Yes. So before you just join under any John Doe, now John Doe might have sent you their link and gave you some information, but John Doe might not be the best person for you to join under. You should do some research and find the people that you connect with and join under who you connect with. I've had people join under me before, and I've always told people on my team, I'm like, dude, if you're not happy where you're at and you don't connect with me, you're free to go. I'm not going to be pissed at you. You know what I mean? Because I want people to be successful regardless of whether they're on my team or not. Truly. I'm not going to be mad if you can't, like, if you feel like you can't be successful because you don't connect with me, because I want people to be successful. And it would be selfish and it would be holding someone back if I said, oh, you can't leave me. You know, what the fuck, right? No, I don't think so. So if you just want to get started, understand that your successes and your failures are your responsibility. No one else's, no matter what company, no matter who you join. All right. If you find a company that you think you might like, do some research. All right. And if you decide that's the company you want to join under, make sure you join under the right person that you can connect with, that you feel will be beneficial. Don't let people snowball you and talk you into something, and then you sign up, and then, like, they go in with the wind, and you're like, where the fuck did they go, right? No, then you're not going to be happy. You know what I'm saying? And I can tell you the company that Maddie D and I are with, MLSP, is amazing. It's a stable company that has been in business for over 8 years. They're not going anywhere. And the comp plan is amazing. I mean, there's like no pass-ups, no quotas, no bullshit, right? Like every person you bring in, you make $100 on every month. That's residual income. And my question to you is, your bills are residual, aren't they? Like you got to pay an electric bill every month, a water bill every month, a mortgage every month. Shouldn't your income be residual too? You know what I mean? So if you're just getting started, do some research, take responsibility. Don't complain that you shouldn't have to pay money to start a business. I don't have to pay to go to my job. I shouldn't have to pay to start a business. Bullshit. You pay to go to your job.
You do.
Let me tell you something. Don't make me get on my whiteboard, Maddie D, because you know what's going to be on if I get up on that whiteboard. Let me tell you something. Y'all better give me some hand claps for this, because this is real. And if you never thought about it this way, I want you to think about it right now, all right? If you have a job, how do you get there? A car? That means you put gas in your car. How much money you spend on gas every week? 40 bucks? 40 bucks of gas a week times 4 weeks. That's $160 in gas you put in your car. 160. So let's keep that to the side. 160. Oh, you got a uniform? Oh, I'm sorry. Do you have to wear a tie and a shirt, like long sleeve and pants? Or if you work in a restaurant, you got to have slip-resistant shoes. I know those fucking things cost $80 because I buy them for my husband every 6 months, right? Slip-resistant shoes, uniforms, all that. Let's say that costs you $400 a year, right? You should break that down in 12 months. Add that on to the 160. Oh, you want a lunch break while you're at your job? That means you either have to pack food to take to work, or you got to go and hit the local fast food joint on your lunch break. And what's that, $5 a day? You can't even get a Happy Meal for $5 anymore. $6, $7 a day times 5 days. That's another $40 a week times 4 weeks. That's $160. So you're already up to like $400 a month to go to this job that you think you're going to for free. Oh, but wait, there's more. You got kids? Oh, no, you got kids. You got to pay for daycare. Well, let's see. Most people pay about $150 to $200 a week to put their kids in daycare. Well, let's count low. Let's say $100 a week. $100 a week times 4 weeks is $400. So you're now up to about $800 you spend a month to go to a job that you sit here and claim is, I don't have to pay to go to my job. Well, guess what? You know how much money I spend a month for my business that I own when I work when I want and don't have nobody tell me what I can and can't do? $150 a month for MLSP, and I pay $65 a month for my autoresponder. Boom, that's it. And I make as much money as I want. Tell me what you do is cheaper than what I do. Numbers don't lie, my friends. Numbers don't lie.
It's true.
I'm just saying.
And it's been shut down. What do you wish you were better at?
Mic drop. Mic drop.
Yeah, exactly.
What do I wish I was better at? What do you mean?
What do you wish you were better at?
I thought you were going to give me an option. Like, do you wish you were better at this or that? I didn't know that.
No, there's no options. It's open-ended. Nah.
What I wish I was better at, or what I wish I could do more of. I don't know. Is there a difference?
No, there's a difference. Like, what do you wish you're better at? Like, for me, sometimes I wish I was better at organization, which I suck at. But this is not my nature. It's not my energy. I can do like some basic stuff, and I'm like, all right, I'm done. I can't go any farther. So, as an example.
What do I wish I was better at? I wish I was. It really doesn't make sense to say. I was going to say I wish I was better at like creating more hours in a day, but you can't do that anyway, so that doesn't make any sense. Because I always just want to do more. You see what I'm saying? I wish I was better at fitting more into my day. But you know, when you have a family, kids, you know, you can't, and I said this too when they asked me last week about my DMO, my daily method of operation, because let's get on a schedule, let's get on a plan, right? That's impossible if you have a family. And the reason is because you can say, all right, I'm going to market from 8 to 9. I'm going to send an email from 9 to 9:30. I'm going to do this from 9:30 to 12:30. You can have it all mapped out. But the problem with that is when the school calls and says, hey, your kid throwing up everywhere, you got to come get them. Guess what? That day you just had scheduled out is gone. Like, because kids come first, right? So you literally can't just say, this is the way my schedule is going to go and stick to it. Because if you're that stringent upon yourself, then when something happens that throws you off of that schedule, it screws you completely up. You're like, oh, what am I going to do now? Because this happens and then this all got pushed back and then you get frustrated, right? That's like setting yourself up for failure. So I don't do that. Like I say, this is what I need to do every day. You know, I send out this many emails, talk to this many people, get this many signups, whatever. That's my game plan. And guess what? Same thing I said earlier. If I want to go to sleep, I better get it done, right? And the thing is sometimes you won't get it done because you have those emergencies. And then you know what you say. And I love this about MLSP. And like I said, I've been in MLSP for less than 2 months, but I love their motto. They say this all the time. I keep getting better and better. So when you don't accomplish the things that you want to accomplish in one day, remind yourself, I'll get better and better. I will keep getting better and better. And don't beat yourself up just because you didn't get it all done this time, right? It's a progression. It's a process. So what I wish I was better at, I wish I was better at fitting more in, right? Because I always want to be in more service. So I think that's what I wish I was better at. What I wish I could do more of, I wish I could speak on stage more. Not because it gives me any props or, you know, any accolade, or for lack of a better word, I don't know what word I'm looking for. But the reason I wish I could speak on stage more is because I wish I could reach more people. I really wish that people knew the truth. You know what I mean? I wish that, you know, high schools would reach out to me and say, would you like to speak at, you know, our commencement ceremony? I would love that. And that's got nothing to do with trying to get somebody in my business. That's got to do with talking to people getting ready to go out in this world and create the future of this world and saying, hey, you have the power to do whatever it is that you want in your life. I wish I could impact people more and do more in that sphere, right? Not just about trying to sign people up in my business to make money, but to show people and especially our future generations that there is a way to live that is just incomparable, right? Just incomparable. So.
Gotcha. What's your vision for the future?
Wow, that's a big one. Well, the biggest thing for me right now, and that's why it's like a big one, because I have a right now, because of some circumstances of where we came from. Like for right now, my vision is to help my team, who's with me now, and my team that I have in the future, to create a residual income of $10,000 a month within 3 months. I mean, that's what I want for them. To get to that level where they can do that and it be quote unquote easy. Again, easy being a relative word. When I say easy, I mean that they feel it, that it's not something they feel like they have to work at doing, that it's something like where they're like me, where it's like, oh, you know, you just pick up your phone and you do it because you love it, because it's part of who you are, because you are your business and it's you. Because when people get to that point, that's when they make the money, right? That's when they make the money. Stop the trying so hard and forcing yourself and trying this, and just start living the dream, and then the dream happens. When that happens, they get to $10,000 a month. And that's my vision, right? My vision is to allow people to come into that and have that. And then, you know, you're unstoppable. You can go wherever you want from there. I mean, most people would love to make $10,000 a month. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. How do you want to be remembered?
How do I want to be remembered? I don't want to be remembered. I'll start by saying what I don't want to be remembered for. I don't want to be remembered for someone who, like, oh my gosh, there was this girl in the marketing industry, and, you know, she went from stay-at-home mom to $30,000 a month and then millionaire, because I will become a millionaire. There's no doubt about that. I don't want to be remembered for that. I want to be remembered as someone who leaves a legacy, okay? Who leaves a legacy of changing this world one person at a time. That, you know, I might not have been able to reach masses and masses of people because I don't think there's a stage big enough for me to share my heart. I really don't. But I want to do the best damn job I can of showing people in this world that they can do whatever they want.
It's a clap.
Yeah, you better not do that horn. You better not do that horn. Your girl's gonna kill you.
I don't give a shit. She'll be fine. I'll do it later. 2 questions actually, and this one is especially, it pertains more to the guys, not so much to women. Women can maybe relate to this too. And you touched on this earlier, talking about, you know, what if you have a spouse that doesn't support you and stuff. It's like, how do you, and I wrote it down, but now I'm going to change it. It's like the advice of when you're doing business like this as a guy and you're not exactly where you want to be, but you see the vision, you have it, and you're going at it. And maybe let's say like your circumstances aren't the best, you know, with money and everything else. And, you know, you're trying to explain to your partner, like, look, this is where I'm at, this is what I'm doing, this is who I am, I'm going forward. And I've come to this before, personal stuff. Like, how do you explain to the lady, like, look, like, this is what I'm doing. You know, they may ask you, like, are you going to get this yet? Have you made money? Blah, blah, blah. Like, what's the best advice to the guy explaining to his woman, like, to explain what they're doing and the goal without creating more conflict?
Well,
that makes any sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. Well, here's the thing. It takes 2 to tango, right? And you can take that any way you want, right? Because that could be like in a sexual type sense, but that also can be in a argumentative type sense, right? And what I mean by that is, and this is powerful, if you've never heard this before, write it down, because it's something that you'll want to remember next time your spouse or significant other tries to pick a bone with you, right? And you just look at them and say, you know, I don't have to show up to every argument I'm invited to. Because it takes 2 to tango. And here's the deal. I'm married. I've been married for a very long time. And, you know, there's always going to be problems in relationships. There's no doubt about that. And especially, you know, financial problems are one of the biggest reasons that, you know, marriages split up and couples split up, even if you're not married and all that stuff. But here's the thing. You have to support each other. And you have to be on the same playing field. Like if you're over here, like, and you playing in, give me some stadiums. Like I'm a football fan. I'm not a baseball. I like the Yankees, but I'm not an avid baseball fan. But if you're like in Met Stadium right here, like this is where you at, and like you got a girl and she's not in Met Stadium with you, like she's over here in fucking Baltimore Orioles Stadium, right? Like you're not even in the same ballpark. That's the definition of that. And so you've got to be with someone who wants to be in the same ballpark with you. When it comes to money, you know, I'm just an avid believer that not everything's about money. And if you're with someone who's constantly hounding you about money, then maybe you're not with the right person. I'm not talking to you personally. I'm just talking to anybody. Like anyone who's going to come at you, like, when are you going to get a car? When are you going to get this? When are you going to do that? Well, are you not good enough for who you are? Aren't you with me because of me, not because of what I do or don't have, right? This is my heart. This is what I do. If you need me to have X, Y, Z to be good enough to be with you, then maybe you need to find someone who already has X, Y, Z, right? Because me, what I'm doing is something that I'm building for my future, for my life. And I may not have X, Y, and Z right now, but I have every intention of having X, Y, Z times 10 in the future. But that's not something that happens overnight. That's something that I make a decision to do, and I commit to do, and I will do, and I will accomplish. But I can't snap my fingers and make that happen. The best thing I can do is make the commitment, make the decision, do whatever it takes to make it happen. And in order to do it successfully, I have to have someone support me in that. You can choose to support me or not. This is also something I tell people too. Because a lot of people say, well, my spouse doesn't understand, or I haven't told them I'm doing this because I'm going to wait until I make money to tell them, so they don't tell me I'm getting scammed and all this stuff. And this is what I say to people. People don't have to understand what you're doing. That's fine. They don't. It's absolutely okay to have a difference of opinion, right? It's okay. And you don't have a right to be mad at them if they don't, right? Like I said, when I first started, I wanted to beat into everybody's head what I was doing was real. It's real, and I had to learn it's okay. And you can go to your spouse or your friends or your siblings, your parents, whoever it is that's giving you trouble and say, look, I get that you don't like what I'm doing, right? I get it. You don't like it. Okay, cool. I get that you don't understand it. Okay. I get that you think that it's a scam. I get that you think this or you think that. See, the biggest thing you can do, especially with women, look, we get on advice now. Like, I'm no counselor, so don't sue me if this shit don't work, right? But the biggest thing that you can do, especially for a woman, is to repeat back to her what she said, because that lets her know you heard her, right? That you heard what she said. I have a problem with XYZ. So you can say, I understand that you feel blah, 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 blah. I do. And that's okay. You have a right to feel that way. And I have a right to feel this way, right? And we have a right to agree to disagree. But all I ask is that you respect what I'm doing, okay? Because you don't have to agree with it or believe in it or anything else to be able to respect it. And know that what I'm doing is what I feel I need to do to be my best authentic self, to be able to provide a life and a future for myself and my future family if you don't have a family yet, right? This is what I feel I need to do. This is who I am. There is no difference. I mean, hell, pull up the James Michener quote and read it and say, this is who I am. There is no separation. There is no, when is this business going to do this for you or do that for you? This business is me and I am this business. You know what I mean? And that's what I would do. And it's okay. It's absolutely okay. People don't have to understand and agree. But I've said this a million times, and this is the thing. If someone loves you, or if someone is your friend, or they're your family member, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do. They should look at it, even if they don't agree with you at all. They should look at it and say, I may not agree with what you're doing, and I may not understand it, but I see that you're trying to do something to better your life. And that I always back. And that I always support. Right? Because they don't have to agree with what you're doing, but if they love you and genuinely care about you, they'll be able to see that you're really doing something that you feel will change your life. And they should be like, amen for that. Right? Not about when you're going to do this for me. Didn't we just talk about a little bit ago that how things change in your life when you start to say, how can I do more for others? How can I give more? And how things don't change in your life when you're like, how can I get? When's this going to happen for me? See, when you have this get, this me, this mine, this holding on tight to money, and when am I going to have this and this, right? When you have that, you'll never have abundance because your hands are so closed and you're so closed. But when you let things go, when you're with someone who is like that as well, that is willing to let go and support you and whatever you're doing, and support and understand that you're doing what you need to do to be your best authentic self, and that you're genuinely trying to change your life and help change your lives too, they'll support you no matter what, no matter how long it takes. They won't leave your side. So.
Great answer. I like it. A lot of people don't seem to understand that. I think it's for a lot of people, especially last year, I've struggled with this for a while. It's like you have a tough time accepting, like, where you want to be and where you are, but you have a tough time kind of accepting that, like, it's tough standing in your own dream, your own strength, when someone else doesn't see that, and you let their thoughts affect you. So that it gets tough until you're like, you know what? All right, if you don't like this, I'm just gonna move on the next and just keep it going. But yeah, that's a great answer though.
Well, that's true. There's this old saying, and I'm sure everybody on here or watching this has heard it, which is you are the product of your income, and you are the product of the people that you surround yourself with. Like the 5 people that are in your closest circle, if you take the average income of the 5 people in your closest circle, that's your income. So like if you broke ass, then your 5 friends are broke ass too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when you start changing the people that you surround yourself with, your income will start changing. And this is cool too. And I wanted to say this is funny, but I forgot because I was talking so long about that. everything you've asked me, I talk really long about. But you said what's advice for a new person, right? And I gave some advice for a new person, like don't do this, don't do that. Here's another thing, like someone, and this kind of plays into the last question you asked too. Will go up to their friend and be like, "Don't do that. You're wasting your money. That's a scam." Blah blah blah, right? To a new person in the industry or a friend or family member criticizing them. And my question is let me just ask you guys out there this, Maddie, if you want to answer, if you want to have people in the chat answer it. Like if you had $10,000, like you just had $10,000, you didn't need it for nothing, you just had it, and you decided that you wanted to invest in stocks, right? Everybody with me? Mm-hmm. Would you go to your broke ass uncle and say, where should I invest my $10,000? Or would you go to a stockbroker and say, where should I invest my $10,000?
The stockbroker.
Yeah. So the thing that I want to know is all these people who come to you and come to me and say, oh, my friends say this, my wife said that, my husband says that, my mom says this, my brother said this, my kids say this. Are they paying your bills? They say it's a scam. Are they in it? So if you're trying to change your life, are you going to listen to the people who are in it having success? Or are you going to listen to your broke-ass friends who's calling it a scam? If you're going to invest yourself into changing your life, are you going to listen to the people who are already in it changing their lives? Like Maddie D, like me, like whoever invited you to this call? You're going to listen to those people who are in it, doing it, like you would give your $10,000 to a stock market broker, right? Because he does it. He does that for a living. So you would give your 10 grand to the stock broker, can't even talk, the stock market broker, because that's what he does for a living and you trust him. You give your money to him because he would not guide you wrong. It's what he does for a living. You would not listen to your broke ass uncle telling you where to invest 10 grand. So if you want to change your life and you want to join a business in an industry, are you going to go to the people like Maddie D, me, or whoever sent you this call who are in it, who are doing or having success and show you how to do the same thing? Or are you going to listen to your spouse, friend, sibling, mother, father, whatever? That'll work. That's a scam. Really? How do you know? Because you said so? Because there's a review that's bad? Let me tell you all something. Anybody can write a bad review. You can go to Applebee's or Outback or any restaurant in the world, and if you have a bad experience, you're going to go home and you're going to write a badass review. But your badass review doesn't make that restaurant bad, all right? Because there's a million other people out there who have amazing reviews on that restaurant. So when people get on the internet and they're like, well, I'm going to check out this company, and they go and they like check it out, and they're like, well, it has 10 bad reviews, or it has 100 bad reviews. Well, how many good reviews did it have? 2 million? So let's do the ratio work here. Come on, use your brain, right? So that's all I got to say about that.
Good point. Good point.
Mic drop.
With a pen. Last question I got for you, Laura. Who are you and what do you do besides drink a crack bucket?
Diet Pepsi, by the way. Sometimes it's Diet Mountain Dew. Who am I? My name is Laura Parrish, and I am nothing more than a simple stay-at-home mom who is grateful to have found sobriety in my life and grateful to stay sober one day at a time by the grace of God. I am the mother of 2 extraordinary children and the wife of an extraordinary husband. And what I do is I share my story with the world, because your story will change people's lives, and my story changes people's lives, and I can change people's lives that you can't, as you can change people's lives that I can't, because your story is different than mine. So I am here to change people one person at a time. If I can help one person believe today that there's a different way to live, then I've accomplished my goal for the day. Money or not, doesn't matter. It's about helping this world see that there's a better way. It's about helping people believe in themselves and to be the child that they used to be. Because I'm pretty sure that everyone as a child had a dream. You want to be a firefighter, you want to be a police officer, you want to be an artist, you want to be an astronaut, you want to be the president. What was it that you wanted to be? And then what happened in your life as you got older to make you believe that it's too hard, that you can't live that way, that you'll never achieve that? What happened to change your mind? What happened to make you flip the switch to think, well, I've got to get a job and I've got to do this or I won't have success? But if you rewind and you go back to that child who had the dream and say, I want to feel that way again, you can feel. that way again. And I want to inspire people to feel that way, because when they feel that way, they start believing they can, and then they do.
Boom. Mic drop. That was very much well said. That's awesome. I have no more questions, Laura. Thank you for doing it. Thanks for taking out time of your 24/7 busy schedule, nonstop lifestyle. We're doing this. Everyone, give her some love. Put some love in the comments here. And again, I gotta do this. Whether I wake you up, I don't care. You know it's coming. You ready?
Are you officially done? Because if you're officially done, you're about to get busted. I said at the beginning of this call, if you didn't ask me something, you're going to get busted.
I know I'm going to do. Look, we mentioned before earlier in the call, you see what we do. We have success. Guys, if you're looking to, where they're already in another business, you don't have one, you have coaching programs, you want to look at stuff where they help you, teach you skills to actually how to market your business online. More importantly, connect with individuals like us. We have a community, a good family. We care about your success. I mean, I'm not directly under law regardless. She wants to see me succeed. I want to help you succeed. They have the ability and freedom to choose when you work and still, whether you make the income that you want, get with us. We have a system called MLSP. Whether I invited you, Laura did, whoever, get back with the person here. We're willing to help you out. It's all really about, like she said, changing people's lives and bringing people on the journey with us. That's what it's about, And like I said, if you're in another business, that's fine. Got a coaching program, or you're brand new, you have no idea, and you want to know how this works. We have training, there's support. We're here for you. I'm a real person. I have faults and mistakes. There's Laura, who is perfect. Perfect. But anyways, guys, get with me at the Blab. I put my email in the chat. Laura, last question, actually. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you? Put the link in the chat.
Okay, so who wants to type for me? Teresa, your last name I saw, so you can type for me, right? I love Teresa. Teresa Kaiser, she's on my team. Love her. Awesome. So there's a few ways you can get a hold of me. You can email me at tns.mastermind@gmail.com. You can always find me on Facebook at facebook.com/freemoneymommy. Free Money Mommy. 3 words, all smashed together, no space, right? My fan page is facebook.com/1tns.mastermind. Okay. And I guess that's about it. So is it my turn to bust you because you failed to ask me something that I thought you asked me?
I don't know what I'm supposed to ask you. Like, this doesn't make any sense. What's I supposed to ask?
Well, it's not what you were supposed to ask, but I'm just so thoroughly impressed that you've asked me so many questions that people don't normally ask me. I thought you would ask me something else too, but you haven't. Are you ready? You got them all?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. If you want to help Samantha, please help my daughter. She's doing an amazing thing. GoFund.me/Sam Gives Back. And you know what? That's not about me making money or nothing. All right. That's about giving back to the community. Please share that everywhere. Every account you have, share that. All right. Please. Thank you. So this is what I wanted to say. And I even wore the shirt so you wouldn't forget. I even wore the shirt. Habit. What is a blogging habit, right? I've talked about this before. I even put it in my bio for Member of the Month. I said I have habit mastery training because you asked what cross the start was. So I would ask what habit was. Okay.
I got close.
Yeah, well, you did good. You got like 50, so I won't bust you too much. But I got to say this. Yeah, thank you, Teresa. Oh, thank you, Teresa. She said she helped her. Hey, Teresa donated. Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate that. I haven't checked yet, so that's awesome. Oh,
always in trouble.
You in trouble. No, so check it out. So, and this was what I was almost going to say, Matt, when you said earlier the word hustle, and I said there's a misconception of that word, right?
Right.
Same thing. Check this out. I have a blogging habit, but what's the misconception about the word habit? When you think of the word habit, what do you think? Something bad, right? Like a smoking habit or a drinking habit or eating habit or whatever.
Takes too long, yeah.
Right. So when you think of the word habit, you think of something not good. So and Samantha actually came up with this with me on this board. I said, we've got to create, I said, I have a blogging habit because I love to blog, right? So I said, we've got to create an acronym for the word habit because blogging is good. So we wrote HABIT on the board and we started coming up with words. This was a long time ago. And so we created, I have a blogging habit. And habit stands for highly effective blogging inspires transformation. Because
okay.
I came up with these shirts, right? And it's on the back too.
Oh, wow. I need to get one.
They're for sale. You can buy them.
Where?
All right. It says the habit worth keeping. Do you love that? The habit worth keeping?
Yeah.
Yeah. So highly effective blogging inspires transformation. And by the way, before someone gives me crap, I'm just going to go ahead and say it because someone messaged me and said, you spelled effective wrong. Effective is spelled with an E. And I said, go check Webster's dictionary. There's effective and there's affective, and they're two different definitions, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what I was talking about was effective, not effective. So look it up. But anyway, highly effective blogging inspires transformation, all right? And it's absolutely true. It's a habit worth keeping. Everyone should blog. People say, I don't know what to blog about. You know what? Blog about what you do every day. Blog about your life, because people join people. People want to know you're real, that you're not a scam. So if you're blogging about what you do, where you went to eat, and if it was a great experience or not a great experience, went and bought a new watch, went to a movie, do a review, went to the grocery store, what grocery store, why do you go to that grocery store, what do you love about it, found a new tip or trick on the internet that like blows your mind. I just found out, oh my gosh, I shouldn't even tell you guys this because it's like I haven't done it yet. I found 14. I found 14 things on Google, 14 what's the word? Not hacks, but 14 things on Google that like has just completely blown my mind in the last 3 days that I was like, holy shit, like I wish I'd have known about this a long time ago, right? To make my life easier on the internet, right? Cool. So I'll be sharing that in a blog too, but just blog about what you love, right? Because people dig that and they want to read it and they subscribe to your blog, and then that means they're on your list, and when you blog, they get it, and then they join you, right? Because you have something they want. So have a blogging habit. All right, it's a habit worth keeping. And yeah, you can get these too. So anyway, I guess that's
it. Cool. That's all I got.
Okay.
So like I said, get a blogging habit. Join us with MLSP. And Laura, again, thanks for being on. You're awesome. This is a great Blab interview I've done. Oh yeah, you hit L3. Congratulations.
Oh yeah, I did. L3, member of the month. Go read my bio.
I thought you hit L4. We're already there in my mind, which will be there soon enough anyway. So it's all gravy.
All gravy, he says.
It's all gravy. But that's all I got. I'm end the recording, guys. Thank you very much. Stay tuned for the after party. Everyone else, hope you enjoyed the show. Get back with me, whoever else invited you here. Get in the black, everybody. Good night.
Good.